How's she going, boys? Welcome back to Grampy's Workshop. Another day in the workshop here and another great project I got lined up today. Went to the city and Princess Auto had a sale on, so I bought myself, yeah, I did it. Bought myself a landscape rake for my tractor. Oh, she's a beauty. 5 feet wide, 3-point hitch connection. So that's the project for today, is to get this landscape rake out of the trailer first of all and assembled. So that's going to be the plan for the project today in Grampy's Workshop, is to get this landscape rake out of the trailer. A good thing too about the landscape rake, they crated it up with it looks like 1-inch angle. The angle is not great quality angle, but nevertheless it's angle, so I'm going to save that angle because you know, projects around, you always need a little bit of metal here and there. So any kind of metal you get like that, you save it, hold on to it, put it on the pile, because I'm sure there'll be a project show up someday where I need some 1-inch angle and I'll say, nah, I got some. So there it is laying in the trailer. Oh, by the way, this is my homemade trailer. Ooh, she's a beauty. Yep, I like it. Homemade. I say it's homemade. I had a fella make this trailer for me, and that was, boy, I bet you, that would have been in the late 80s. Anyways, he built this trailer. He worked for us at where I worked, and he was a great welder, so he built me this trailer. And then we were out here at the camp, and the trailer was getting kind of wore out because she was showing her age. So another good friend of mine here at the lake, he's passed away now, God love him, but he was quite a little trailer fabricator himself, so he and I went to work, and we kind of stripped the trailer down to the bare bones and added some more new metal to it, new axle and springs and wheels and everything, and lo and behold, we've got a nice looking trailer there now. So anyway, here's my my new toy. Look at that. She's all crated up, like I say, 1-inch angle here, and those are 5 foot long, so there's 4 pieces of 5 foot angle and 4 pieces here of probably 2 foot angle. That's at least 2 feet, and a bunch of little 8 or 10 inch pieces. So anyways, she's crated up and heavy, so what I'm going to try and do is cut all the pieces loose and bring them in the shop one at a time. Alright boys, there we have it. Look, there's all the pieces. There's 30 tines. Here's the angle that the tines attach to. She's made out of good solid metal. The angle here, that's probably, well, it would be every bit a 1/4 inch. 3/8 plate here, 3/8 plate here. Nice big drawbar on it. I'm almost as excited about the steel that came in the frame, which is kind of weird. But anyway, there it is. Look at that. So I'm going to take that, cut those pieces up, and then save them for projects. And as I say that, we're starting to get some sprinkles of rain, which is kind of nice because we really need rain, but I don't want to be out in it because I'm so sweet I'll melt. So here we are getting ready to put her together. Basically all we have for instructions is this user's manual, and it's just an assembly drawing, so that's what I'm going to go by. It looks straightforward though. I'm sure a man of my intelligence would have no problem whatsoever putting this together. Anyway, we'll see how that works out. So we're making progress here. There's the drawbar all assembled with the side braces and the top link angle brace, and that linchpin came supplied, so that was dandy. And then the pins on the end there to hook onto the 3-point lift arms, and they were supplied. And then the drawbar comes out and hooks onto the angle. So all I have left really to do now is to attach the tines to it, and I have the tines laid out here to go, to be put on, I mean. And where I move my instruction book? Here's a bracket here that will help locate the tines, and there's 30 of them that go along this angle. Blingy, 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 right across there. So I'll put those tines on and it'll be good to go. I kind of like this tool so far. It seems robust. Oh, another thing, this linch pin was supplied as well, or this pin, and you pull that out so you can angle the rake, from side to side. Speaking of that though, the one thing that really I didn't like so far about this whole landscape rake that was bought at Princess Auto is the instructions say underneath this kingpin, you can just see the top of it here, but that kingpin goes right through so that the rake arm here can pivot. They say that kingpin should accept, or should have, a castellated nut on it and a hole in the stud to put a cotter pin into, so you hold the nut and never lose it. Well, this one didn't have it. Didn't have the hole in the shaft, in the threaded stud I mean, and it wasn't a castellated nut. In fact, it was a lock washer in a nut, which seemed weird to me because you don't want to be climbing under there every time you want to angle the rake. So what I did was I snugged it up so that you still can turn the rake. There's a little bit of resistance, but you still can turn the rake. But I put Loctite, blue Loctite, on the stud in the nut, and hopefully that'll set up and hold the nut from falling off. I'll have to keep an eye on that. If it does fall off, then the worst case scenario would be I'd have to drill a hole through the nut and the stud and put a cotter pin in it. But that's no biggie really. So next step, put some tines on her, spin her around, make it look real pretty, and then I can put it on my tractor and play. The best part. Like I say, boys, there's no such thing as too many attachments. Okay boys, so I'm going to show a little bit of the assembly of these tines. They go on pretty easy. I got the first 4 sets on. Now the last one, there's 6 in a set. There's this little waffle board here, and the tines set in here under the channel. So we take a bolt to start with, a tine, and I'm going to just tell you a little bit about these tines. They're about 3/8 thick by 1 inch, and I don't know if they're spring steel or not, but they're beefy looking. We'll see anyways when we start to use them, how they stand up. Anyway, every tine has a hole in the end of it, so you put the bolt through there, up through the hole, and these are nylock nuts, so they just screw on there, just loose for now. And then you just repeat the process. And lots of times I've had, pieces of gear like this that you'd buy, the holes wouldn't line up, the threads on the bolts or something would be no good, or the bolts would be cheap. Well, I don't think these are the best quality bolts, but everything is lining up good and going together nice. There's a dandy looking tractor with a landscape rake on it. See that? I bet you're smiling. I know I am. It looks good. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to try and set up and do it, but I've got to go. I have an appointment this afternoon, so won't be able to do it till probably tomorrow morning. But anyway, there it is. And if you notice, I have it offset to the right quite a bit. And you can do that, of course, by adjusting the stabilizing links on the 3-point hitch arms, these links right here. And I did that on purpose because I want to rake sideways, or sorry, I want to rake over the ditch a little bit on my roadway, and I don't like getting too close to the edge of the driveway with the tractor, because although this is an awesome tractor, I do find it tippy. So anyway, I set that off to the side a little bit. The other adjustment I have to make is make sure that it's level. Well, actually, to do the ditches, I might just tip it down a little bit on the right hand side here, looking at it, on this side over here. Just tip that ever so much, just to make a little bit of a crown in the driveway as I rake it. But when you're just raking like landscaping and whatnot, you want to make sure that it's straight and level. And also, because I have it angled to the right, then the rake itself is tipped looking at it this way, is tipped to the left as the tractor moves forward. And I'm hoping what that's going to do is pick up any big rock or something, tumble them along the tines to the middle of the driveway, and that way I can just go with my bucket and pick them up. So that blade worked pretty good. I like it. I just ran up and down the driveway about 4 times. Did a really nice job. Trick is to adjust the height of it so that you don't dig up too much, because here in the landing in front of the barn the gravel was quite soft, so it did chew it up a lot, so I ended up with a lot behind the rake. But I think once I get onto that, it should be golden.